All right, this next story here is something you won't hear a lot about in the traditional media. Let's start off with just watching this video. Warning, it is a bit graphic. What you're seeing here is what's believed to be the dead bodies of religious minorities, mainly Christians, in Syria. Syria is experiencing its deadliest period since the ousting of longtime President Bashar al-Assad 3 months ago, as clashes have erupted between government forces and pro-al-Assad fighters this week, leaving hundreds of civilians and fighters dead. This is coming from Newsweek. Since Thursday, more than 1,000 people, including Christian minorities and Alawites, the sect of Muslims to which al-Assad belongs, have been killed, according to Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and local reports. Newsweek has reached out to Syria's permanent representative to the United Nations and Syria's Ministry of Information for comment via email. They haven't heard back yet. The death toll from clashes that began late this week between security forces and al-Assad loyalists, as well as subsequent revenge killings, has climbed to more than 1,000, according to that organization. As we mentioned, a war monitoring group mentioned that. Syria's interim president, Ahmed al-Shara, and I may be mispronouncing that, has vowed that the new government will respect all communities and affiliations. He is working to gain international legitimacy and has recently met with regional leaders. However, this intense violence could undermine those efforts. Syria has been mired in conflict for more than a decade, with the Syrian civil war beginning in 2011, which included widespread human rights violations, sectarian violence, mass killings, and the displacement, as well as intense battles against ISIS factions. The recent fatal clashes mark the worst violence since al-Assad was thrown out, with high casualties reported among religious minorities, as I mentioned, Christians. It is extremely disheartening to see this. And I want to say this coming to you as a Christian. I'm a Christian. I was born and raised in church, but I was actually legitimately, in my view, saved at 9 years old. And watching this type of watching this as a Christian, it makes me grateful to live in the United States of America. I'm just going to be honest with you. We don't have to deal with that, at least not on that scale, where our life is literally threatened and the bodies of our brothers and sisters in Christ lay out on the streets. The key here is that this is the deadliest and most violent Syria has been in a very long time since Bashar al-Assad was overthrown 3 months ago. There are a lot of people commenting on about why that is, what that means. But one thing is a fact. Christians are being killed for no other reason other than them being Christians. It's a sad tale that I pray to God. We are able to get a handle of. It is, I don't know how or who or what intervenes. I don't get it. I don't know. But something has to, in my view, be done. I just don't know what that is. To the American Christian, we have it good. Let's use the freedom we have here in this country, in this place. Let's use that freedom to preach, to share, to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Let's recommit ourselves to the book, to the Bible. And let's not forget that the persecution we read of in Acts and in the epistles and in the New Testament and all throughout the Bible of Christians is not something of a bygone era that we won't ever see again. It's happening today, currently. And the tragedy in Syria is the latest example of that. Something I think probably could be lessened, but not totally avoided. How and why, I'll leave it up to other people. But that's a story we will be following. Story I will be following and bringing you the latest on here on the Weekly Brief. Thank y'all for listening to all things Jay Shakur, be it Jay Shakur Uncensored, my long form talk interview podcast, or the Weekly Brief, where I bring you the news, not just the stories you know, but the stories you need to know. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share to this YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching or listening on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe, share this with others. Thank y'all for watching.